CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. We start this Wednesday with a precedent-setting sentencing in North Bay where a man found guilty of hate crimes for anti-Semitic propaganda will receive jail time. 51-year-old Kenneth Paulin was charged in June after a 7-month investigation by North Bay police. He faced charges of the willful promotion of hate against Jewish people and the willful promotion of anti-Semitism by condoning, denying, or downplaying the Holocaust. During the court case, the Toronto-based Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center for Holocaust Studies provided an impact statement saying the online content spread hatred, repeated false conspiracy theories, and denied atrocities. It's the first time in Canada someone has received jail time for denying the Holocaust.
Holocaust denial is not just offensive, it's not just ignorant, it is hate speech, and it fuels anti-Semitism. The ruling shows the Jewish community and all Canadians that there are real consequences to spreading hate. So we welcome the ruling, and we're very thankful to the North Bay Police and to the Crown for working hard on this case.
Last month, Paulin was sentenced to 9 months behind bars and 2 years probation. All right, shifting gears, sunshine, a lot cooler on the first day of October. What's in store for us? For more details, we go to CTV's Rick Wyman. Hi there, Rick.
Tony, I know that you're anxious to start that furnace overnight because I know it's getting cooler, and as my mother always used to say, furnace activity starts in October. Not so fast there, Mom. Here we go. A systems map brought to you by CAA. Get your CAA membership at caa.ca. Here's our system with no appreciable precipitation until maybe Friday, where we get a chance of showers. We'll talk about that and a lot more. Yes, Tony, some cooler weather. At night, it will perk up. We're going to be hitting 24, 26 in a couple of days. So again, we get another kick at some warmer weather. We'll like that. We'll go into some further details coming up just minutes away. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. A rally was held today in Kapuskasing in support of Cap Paper. The company announced Monday it would be idling operations. All levels of government have since come forward saying they are and will continue to look at supports for the Cap Paper and the forestry industry at large. CTV's Lydia Chubak will have more at 6 o'clock. The Indigenous police chiefs of Ontario filed a human rights complaint against the federal government in March 2023. Under the tripartite agreement, Indigenous police services are permitted to have specialized units, but they say they are underfunded. The UCCM Anishinaabe police chief argues they are not receiving the same amount of support as municipal policing, making it harder to target specific crimes without dedicated task forces. Regardless, UCCM Anishinaabe police are in the process of creating a drug task force, but there have been barriers in seeing this come to fruition.
That it was an impossibility for me to give our communities what we need with those amount of numbers. There's no way that I can take more officers off the road, create drug units, crime units that can respond properly in major case management, MCM legislation, to ensure that investigations are done properly and according to laws and legislation.
Colleen says they are still waiting for negotiations to begin. In the meantime, First Nations police, OPP, and community leaders unveiled several billboards today aimed at drug prevention. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
The sign that you see here is not just words on a billboard. It is a teaching. It is also a promise that we protect our next generations and support our families and stand together in unity.
This billboard is one of the many that have been added to the route into Manitoulin District to stop drug trafficking and other illegal activities.
What we're doing here today is celebrating the collaboration between the island First Nation leadership and the police services in an effort to combat the illegal activity of drugs and addictions on Manitoulin Island.
OPP and First Nation police are united and share the same messaging surrounding illegal drugs.
We were all meeting as a collective, Manitoulin Island Police Services and leadership, our GIMAs, our chiefs of the territories. And what it was for was to make sure everybody knows that we're unified and you have strength in unity.
It's a very simple message, right? And the message is this: no drugs. We don't want this here any longer. It's devastating our communities. And no drugs encompasses everything. It encompasses drug traffickers, organized crime, human trafficking, and there's a lot of residual crimes that come from that.
The police hope these billboards will aid in the prevention of drugs and show that they are aware and watching.
It's imported crime that's coming to Manitoulin Island. So the couriers, the mules, and the traffickers we know are coming from the Greater Toronto Region by and large.
The unveiling was attended by many to show unity in the face of illicit substances.
This very unpleasant thing that's happening in our communities, and it's not just in the Native communities, this is all over. So when we pray for the whole universe.
At the bottom of the billboard shows the 7 First Nation territories united by a braid of sweetgrass, representing them standing together in unison against the crisis. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Manitoulin Island.
It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, though, we're heading to Perry Sound and the Point Pleasant Marina. This webcam is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 19 degrees. We will return in just a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. More good weather for at least a couple of days in some sectors, and the chance of precipitation, maybe a 40% risk, but we'll soon deal with that in a couple of days. Forecast radar right now, some cloud cover, and again, some fog patches, but that will clear. And here comes that system by about Friday afternoon, supper time. So again, the slight chance of precipitation, we'll deal with that come Friday afternoon. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go. Sunshine tomorrow at 19. Sun and cloud a couple of days, so no rain here. Friday, Saturday, 24, 26. Wow, I love that temperature. Sunday, now there's a chance of showers at 26, and Monday, rain at 24. Again, 30%, 40%. So we'll see what actually goes down come Monday. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, sunshine tomorrow 21. Chance of showers on Friday at 21. 25, 24 Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, 40% chance of showers. Your daytime high around 16. Meanwhile, in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sunshine tomorrow, 22. Chance of showers for a couple of days. The 60% chance of showers and 25 Saturday is a pretty good bet. I like that better than the odds on the 40% chance Friday. We'll see. Sunday, some sun and cloud, 28, and 21 Monday with the chance of showers. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine tomorrow at 20, 40% chance of showers on Friday. Saturday, Sunday looks good. Sun and cloud Saturday, sunshine Sunday, 25, 27. Bring it on. Monday, here we go with the chance of showers at 22 and a drop in temperature going down to 5 overnight by next Monday in Temiskaming Shores. North Bay, West Nipissing, sunshine tomorrow 19, 23 Friday, sun and cloud. More sun and cloud Saturday at 26, again 26 Sunday with the sunshine. And again, chance of showers, 40% come Monday, 24. So, Tony, if you can handle a few days of sunshine before maybe the chance of showers on the weekend, you'll have a pretty good streak going on. Back to you.
We'll take it. Thanks so much for that, Rick. Greater Sudbury Police are letting the public know that their non-emergency number will not be in service for 1 hour tonight. The police service's planned upgrades for 911 services are the reason the number will be unavailable between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. The non-emergency line will be back online once the upgrade is complete. Residents wanting to report a non-urgent crime can still do so online at gsps.ca. A reminder that 911 remains operational for emergencies only. Monday night, North Bay City Council voted in favor of a huge subsidy to maintain operations at Jack Garland Airport. In a special meeting, Council authorized a financial agreement worth up to $720,000 with the North Bay Jack Garland Airport Corporation. The funding comes from the city's reserves while the corporation works to find cost-saving measures. The report to Council cited significant financial challenges facing the airport following the pandemic and after Air Canada announced announced it would no longer offer flights out of the airport.
It certainly hurts the airport when you have your major passenger flight disappear. But I can tell you to date, we have been a break-even operation, even with one flight of Air Canada a day. So we've made up for it in other areas, and we continue to look at other opportunities to generate revenue. This money that has been allocated is only on an as-need basis. It's not that the airport automatically gets $60,000 per month. It's only if they go into deficit.
The agreement takes effect next month. Also coming out of North Bay's council meeting is a new expense policy, and with some debate. After scrutiny of Mayor Peter Chirico's use of his corporate credit card, council debated new policy options. With the investigation still ongoing, some councillors felt it was too soon to make a decision, arguing that they couldn't fix what was wrong in the policy until they knew what was wrong with it. Councillor Tanya Vraybosch, who has been leading the fight for transparency, countered that amendments could be made at a later date, and the new policy was passed almost unanimously. She's originally from Greater Sudbury. Coming up on CTV News at 5, the Speaker at Queen's Park, Donna Skelly, returns to her alma mater. The Legislative Assembly of Ontario's first female speaker, Donna Skelly, was in Sudbury today, visiting schools she once attended. Students at Marymount Academy took part in an interactive civic education session focusing on how government and parliament function and the process of making laws. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Donna Skelly grew up in Capreol and attended Marymount College. She says visiting her alma mater is part of her initiative to bring Parliament to Northern and rural Ontario.
I think it's really important. Politics goes beyond the MPP, the elected official. There are so many roles that are exciting and so many opportunities for young people, such as the PAGE program, the Parliament, the mock parliaments that we have at Queen's Park. But there are also jobs in the future. We have Queen's Park reporters, we have clerks, security, people working for MPPs.
One of the highlights of the visit was a mock debate where Speaker Skelly presided, allowing students to experience firsthand what it's like to participate in parliamentary proceedings. Students debated a 5-day school week over a 4-day school week. Mia Dufresne, a grade 11 student, was one of those students.
It was very interesting. I didn't know that we hadn't had a woman as the speaker in 158 years. And so learning about that was really cool and eye-opening, and learning about her experience as a Regal was awesome.
Tammy Utila is a grade 8 English teacher at the school, and as a former Regal herself, she says it was inspiring to hear that Skelly had been unsuccessful in 2 elections but didn't give up.
I think the biggest message that she delivered was don't be afraid to try new things and to fail, because out of that failure will come success, and to work hard and to also sort of reach out for any goal that you have that's possible.
My priority is what I'm doing here today, reaching out to people across Ontario, beginning with my hometown. I grew up in Sudbury, I'm from the north, and I want people from the north to feel that Queen's Park is as much their place as it is anyone else's.
Speaker Skelly also met with students at C.R. Judd Public School in Capreol during her visit on Wednesday. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
A homeless woman in Sudbury is submitting a petition to City Council to open the Samaritan Centre 24/7 as a drop-in warming centre for October. Right now, when agencies close, there are no overnight services outside of the shelters in the city, and even then, there are more homeless people than beds. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
Ashley Dawn has been homeless for 3 months, but has secured a place for November 1st. She started Movements for Purpose over a month ago. She says it's a group to speak up about gaps in the system for the homeless and vulnerable.
So my concern is we are below 5 degrees at night already, and we're only October 1st. Usually after Thanksgiving, we go below 0 at night. So that's very crucial for people along the way. Transpiring, sleeping outdoors, right? Where are we going to sleep? So some people don't go to the shelters. Maybe there's not beds available. Usually they're quite full.
She started a petition asking the city to open the Samaritan Center as a 24/7 drop-in warming center beginning October 1st to give people living outdoors a place to go as the temperatures drop.
So the biggest gap is most people are on the street. We are not able to be at the bus depot. We're not able to be at Tim Hortons to even enjoy our coffee as a paying customer. We don't have anywhere to be. We're limited. We're limited based off of the shelters as well. Unfortunately, most of them close in the morning at 9 a.m. and they don't reopen until 9 p.m.
Ashley Dawn came to City Hall to present the petition, but was told she must do that through her city councillor. Since she is homeless, she used the address of the Samaritan Center to contact a councillor. The city says a report going to council next week recommends the approval of daytime, weekend, and overnight drop-in warming centers at the Samaritan Center and Energy Court, as well as extended hours at the off-the-street emergency shelter, all beginning November 1st. The proposal from the Samaritan Center to the city to extend its hours pitched an October 1st start, but city staff are recommending November 1st to meet the proposed budget for the program. Data from the city shows the number of people living in encampments continues to steadily increase. Numbers from June show 200 people are living outdoors across 34 encampment sites. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
He's a writer and a journalist. When we return our Northern Book Club segment, you're watching First at 5. He's an award-winning writer and journalist. Wabgijig Rice has also been recognized for his work throughout Canada, and he now joins us in studio. So nice to see you, Wab. This is the first time we've actually met.
Yeah, great to see you, Tony. Thanks a lot for having me. It's really exciting to be here.
Tell us about your writing. I understand you've published how many books? 4? Or?
Four works of fiction at this point, yeah.
And what's that process like? I always ask writers about how they got into the craft and what their inspiration is.
Well, I got into it mostly by being a reader. Very keen reading all kinds of stuff when I was a kid, growing up in Wasauksing, which is down near Parry Sound there. And by the time I got to high school, you know, I was exposed to a lot of Indigenous authors, you know, people like Richard Wagamese, Lee Maracle, Richard Van Camp, and so on. And I think that's where it really started for me, you know. We talk a lot about representation and feeling, you know, reflected in different media and so on, but it is really impactful. And for someone like me as a teenager, like 30 years ago, it was life-changing to see Indigenous authors write Indigenous stories, experiences like mine reflected back to me on the page. And that's really where the motivation began. You know, I kind of got sidetracked by a career in journalism before I became a full-time author, which was, you know, very rewarding, very wonderful at the same time. But yeah, it was just the opportunity to be creative and find ways to make connections with communities, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. And I'm just so grateful that this is the path I'm on right now.
You went to Toronto Metropolitan University. What was that experience like?
It was pretty eye-opening, you know. I went down there in the fall of 1998 when I was 19, and I'd had some experience off the res before. I did a student exchange when I was a little bit younger than that. So it wasn't a major culture shock, but at the same time, when you're going from a small place like Wasauksing, Parry Sound, to, you know, the Big Smoke, yeah, it was jarring at first. And, you know, it was kind of hard to find community in those days, especially at what was then called Ryerson, now TMU. There was a much smaller student body of Indigenous people. But once, you know, I started making those connections, it really worked out. And, you know, going through the program, the journalism program there, made all kinds of contacts at both CBC, CTV, the Toronto Star, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, getting my feet wet in journalism was really great at TMU for sure.
What's it like to reconnect with your Anishinaabe roots and also writers who feel the same way that you do?
It's such a gift, you know. That's the best way to explain it. You know, I learned more about myself the more I try to explore those connections, you know, and I was really fortunate to be raised within my culture on the reserve, going to ceremonies, dancing at powwows and so on. But there's no way you're ever going to fully understand what your identity is, no matter who you are, right? It's a lifelong process. You know, I'm 46 now and there's still a whole lot I got to learn. But when I can write about these things, be proud of them, hopefully evoke invoke pride in other people, then those are some of the most special connections that you can make, right? And it's an ongoing process too, because a lot of Indigenous people are still finding their into the world of publishing and literature and so on. And I think it's only going to flourish in the years to come.
Wab, it was a real pleasure. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing your writing with our viewers.
Oh, miigwech, thank you, Tony. It was an honor to be here.
That was Wabagija Grice. He was in our studio today. And to see more of our Northern Book Club and, of course, our author segments, head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Our first community close-up comes to us from Sault Ste. Marie. Thrive Child Development Centre received $65,000 last week from the Rotary Club and Sioux Mill. The money was raised through the Sioux Mill Rotary Charity Golf Classic held August 21st. Thrive helps children and youth with diverse abilities achieve their highest potential. We're heading north of the Sioux to Batchewana. Linda Levasseur sent us this photograph of a hare munching on some romaine lettuce at Wild Rose RV Campground on Highway 17. Thanks so much for this, Linda. We're going to Macker Township in South River. Stephanie Carlton emailed us this photograph of a white baneberry bush in her yard. Thanks so much, Stephanie. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Finally, a long-running fundraiser by a Sudbury high school is marking 30 years this year, helping to raise money for pediatric cancer care. Lockerbie Composite School launched this year's Kids Caring for Kids Cancer Drive with its annual pep rally, encouraging students to sign up. Later this month, teams will canvass door-to-door across the city collecting donations. The event was started by the late Laura Catesta. In almost 3 decades, Lockerbie has helped raise $1.1 million for pediatric cancer care at the Northeast Cancer Center at Health Sciences North. And Lockerbie students will be out collecting donations October 30th from 5 p.m. till 9. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, folks, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.